guess what? It was caught by somebody. You know why? Because our defensive backfield is completely you, the entire time we were on offense, all you were doing, run up the middle, run up the middle, and on fourth down, slowly dawning. The chaos in my mind will never fade. But you've already given up 40! And now I'm here, building the pyre. And now I'm here, I still wonder. 2015! Walk through the fire.
I'm out of energy. I completely lost my energy. Yeah, I just completely lost my motivation to trash talk Tennessee.
The humming of angels, silent cool.
They've already disappointed me so much number of times.
So, what's the excuse gonna be this time, all fans? We lost to Georgia State! To Georgia State! I would either one, skip Tennessee, or two, make a 10-second video just saying, don't even watch, this program is dead. It will always be dead. You come out, look like a good team against Chattanooga, but then you crap the bed again against the Gators.
It's just still heartbreaking to lose this much. Either way though, congratulations to Georgia.
I literally cannot believe it. This is Tennessee we're talking about. This is just the expectation. Jeremy Pruitt, how in the world did he think that this quarterback was going to lead us to anything relevant?
Congratulations, Jeremy Pruitt. We've gone from a 8-game winning streak to a 3-game winning streak. All of those being blowout losses.
And a defense that's above average that dies in the second half because our offense cannot get a first down.
We are the trash can now. Oi, fellow comrades. This is Squidtard here, back with another college football video. How's everybody doing this wonderful Tuesday? I hope you guys had a wonderful Saturday, Sunday, and even a Monday. I doubt that you did, but hopefully you did. If your team lost on Saturday, then you're probably feeling the exact same way I am, but probably a little better. I've had a couple of days to sort of soak in this string of L's, and to say the least, I'm not too happy about that. But hey, you know, you win some, you lose some. But I'll get into the topic of this video in just a second. I would like to say that if you're new to this channel and you're just checking out this video, to make sure to give that like button a huge hit, and to make sure to, of course, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. By the way, I will be at the Tennessee Tap House for Tennessee versus Texas A&M with BVD, Volunteer Roadshow, and the rest of the gang. So, you guys feel free to come along too, and maybe you'll be able to meet Squidtard and a couple of other people. So, you know, we'll I'm pretty sure it's an open invite. Whether or not it is, it's not my concern, but come along anyway. Okay, so let's get into this video. So, Jeremy Pruitt, the Tennessee Vols. He's been at Tennessee for 3 years. He came here in 2018, and I remember starting off my commentating on my main channel by making a video about Jeremy Pruitt, talking about, is he really the right guy for the job? I don't know what expectations we're going to get in 2018, but maybe he's the right guy for the job. Well, 2018 rolls around, and we kind of just have the expected 5-7 season. Now, we did get some pretty big wins over number 21 Auburn and I believe number 11 Kentucky. That's the closest we've ever gotten to beating a top 10 team. Either way, though, we ended the season 5-7 because of 2 blowout losses to Mizzou and Vandy at the end of the season. But that was the first year I let that go. 2019 rolls around, and we come out. Everybody knows we lost to both Georgia State and BYU. No matter which way you look at it, up, down, left, right, even cross-eyed, there is no excuse for a loss like that. There just isn't. You can't make an excuse no matter what you say, especially now. But, I let it go because of what happened progressing going into the season, because we had many, many, many wins that followed after. None of them were ranked, but they were wins. We ended up getting on a 6-game winning streak, beating Indiana in a very, very lucky win over them in the Gator Bowl. And I bought into it. I really thought that we were going to be something this year. I really thought that we had it all together. And being on that 6-game winning streak, would come out, win against South Carolina, blow out Missouri. I really thought we had it together. And here we are now. We've gone from a 8-game winning streak to a 4-game, let's see. 4-game losing streak. I had to make sure I could count there. But yes, I can count, and yep, that's a 4-game losing streak, 3 of those being blowouts, and 2 of them being to teams that we arguably should have beat. That being Kentucky, getting absolutely blown out at home against Kentucky, and then going on to lay an absolute egg against Arkansas this week. So, yeah, I've had a bit of time to sleep, and I snapped. There's no other way of saying it. I really did. In my post-game review, I really snapped, and I just lost my mind. There's no other way of saying it. I really did. I won't lie. Some of these rage videos that I've made on Squidtard, I've yelled a little bit when I didn't need to. Maybe over-exaggerated. Maybe. I don't know. But this was pure rage. No way of saying it. I share the amount of frustration that a lot of other Tennessee fans are feeling right now. And that raises the question, when will it end? When will it end? More importantly, this raises another gigantic question here. Is Jeremy Pruitt the right guy for the job? Is this the end of the road for Jeremy Pruitt? Is he capable of taking this team to where we need to be? And is he capable of doing it soon? Well, those are a lot of questions, and I'm going to go ahead and debunk and answer all of these right now. So, starting off, I do believe that there will come a time where Jeremy Pruitt is able to build up this program. But the reality is, it doesn't matter what me or the fans think even. What matters the most is what Philip Fulmer thinks. But that's beside the point. Now then, is it time for Jeremy Pruitt to be fired? In my opinion, no. You're more than entitled to having your own opinion on what you think about where Jeremy Pruitt should be. Oh, he should be gone. Man, I hate that guy. I hated him from the start when we went 5-7 in 2018. If that's what you want to believe, then that's fine with you. I'm not going to try and change your mind here. But I do ask that if you're willing to change your mind on that subject, that you listen to this video and listen to me explain to you why Jeremy Pruitt should not be fired where we're at in the season. I know the Arkansas loss was really bad, but I have a whole bunch of reasons here to tell you why Jeremy Pruitt should keep his job at Tennessee and not be gone for a while. So I'm narrowing this down to 3 basic reasons, and I'll start with number 1 here. We're still paying Butch Jones's buyout while he washes Nick Saban's car. Affording the firing of Jeremy Pruitt, that's hardly the problem here, though. Thing is, though, Jeremy Pruitt, even with all the money we have, firing him now would cost us a whole bunch. And I know that there's going to be restrictions on how much money we have based off of COVID And the program is already short on money just based on the fact that a lot of the sports have been either postponed or canceled. So we aren't getting as much income as we usually do. And we've already had trouble paying off Butch Jones as it is. Imagine how much trouble it is to be paying off 2 coaches at once. It won't be easy. The point is, there's not enough money for Jeremy Pruitt to be fired right now in the season. But that isn't even the problem here, and that's probably the least of anybody's concern when talking about firing Jeremy Pruitt. Number 2, though, the thing is, even if we do fire Jeremy Pruitt, and even if we do have the money to fire him, the fact is, what do we do after that? Who's the next guy? Do you know? Do you? I'm pretty sure a lot of you are probably doing the same thing I'm doing and going, Squidtard said I need to find a head coach for this team if Jeremy Pruitt gets fired. I wonder who that guy would be. If you have your guy, that's great, but the reality is the chances are of us getting that guy over here to Knoxville, even in a snippet, very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. Nobody wants to come here. Let me be real. This job, 3 years ago, after Butch Jones was fired, was turned down by so many coaches that I lost count after John Curry, our last athletic director, was fired. I lost count. But you know, that's what happens. I believe it was a record-breaking 11 tries by John Curry, with the last one being Mike Leach. And none of them worked out, obviously, because we ended up with Jeremy Pruitt. Jeremy Pruitt, I think, was our 11th guy. Either way, though, that's 10 different tries we had on several different coaches that didn't work. I believe we tried Daniel Cutcliffe. I know we tried Dan Mullen. I know we tried Mike Leach. And I could name every other coach that's playing somewhere else right now. I could even name Chip Kelly if I wanted to. Reality is, we tried to get him. It didn't work. So we got stuck with Jeremy Pruitt. Think about what that's going to be like if we do that again. But this time, when we're even more of a dumpster fire than we were before. And I'm not saying we are, but in the eyes of people who see it, we will be more than that. So there's absolutely no point in even attempting to fire him for that. Because the plan A would be to fire Jeremy Pruitt, but the reality is we don't have a plan B. And that plan B is not set in stone because there's no guarantee that that next guy is waiting to take the job. There is no coach right now that wants to take this job. There isn't. There just isn't. You might have your guy you want. You might have the guy you want to come here and take control of this program. And that's great. How are we going to get him here? Do you know? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Hopefully you have a better set of eyes than I do. And before you start with the John Gruden to the Hill rumors, stop. Just stop. All right? Stop it. Bad Tennessee fan. Bad. Okay. Number 3. Number 3. So, this is the most important one in my opinion. And I need everybody to listen up. So, here we go. We will never find the right guy for the job. And the reason I say that is Tennessee fans, most of them that I see as soon as they get a brand new head coach are expecting spectacular results within years. And the reality is we haven't gotten that. Jeremy Pruitt, this is a huge step backwards for what we're trying to do here at Tennessee, but this isn't the biggest issue here. And thing is, the biggest issue lies with our fan base. The high expectations here set by the fan base is probably the reason why we're so angry and disappointed the way we are right now. Now, I understand this. I understand that there is a probability that we could definitely do better. And a lot of the blame here is actually shifting to the quarterback play and Jarrett Germinamo. But Germinamo is hardly the problem anymore. I used to think that when we lost to Georgia and then Kentucky, we threw pick sixes and all that crap. And of course, he's not the best quarterback in the SEC, probably nowhere near that. But he's a quarterback that can get the job done. He's athletic. And I try to give Jarrett Garantano credit when credit is due to him. This isn't on him. This game definitely wasn't on him. Jim Chaney is probably one of the stupidest play calling, offensive coordinators that I have seen, just based off that game alone. That was the most ridiculous, elementary, backwards play calling I have ever seen in a Tennessee football game. In my halftime video that I made, I knew we were going to lose that game, not based on the fact that we were winning. We were winning by 13, but I knew we were going to lose. Arkansas had a plan B if plan A didn't work. We didn't. The idea for our team now is to run it up the middle 3 times. We don't have another game plan. 6 consecutive 3-and-outs. 6 consecutive 3-and-outs yesterday. Even with Brian Maurer and Harrison Bailey in, both those guys didn't know what in the hell they were doing. And you can look back. I talked about wanting Brian Maurer and Harrison Bailey in, but the reality is they both looked lost yesterday. Now, that's partly to blame on Pruitt and, of course, Chaney, because we needed to give those guys some reps. And, at this point, the way I see it is, if we're going to lose, we need to lose with a freshman quarterback, because then he's at least getting the experience he needs. Jarrett Garantano is not going to improve at all. He's a 5th-year senior, and he hasn't improved from the day that he's arrived on campus. That's the harsh reality about Jarrett Garantano that not many are willing to accept. They're telling him to do better, but the reality is he can't do better. So what are we left with? Left with this situation here. This garbage that you call an offense. Eric Gray, definite talent. He is a huge talent at Tennessee, and he has the potential to be a top 3 running back in the SEC. I know that for sure. This play calling, though, is the most backwards, retarded thing I've ever seen in my life. Literally, it's the same freaking thing every single drive. You run it up the middle on first down. They know it's coming. It's a loss of a yard, or they're just stuffed. You do it again. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, so now it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, or even 3rd and 12. So what are you left with? You're either left with Jarrett Garantano to throw the ball, which most of the time works, actually, but it's pressure, or you do a screen pass. What? It doesn't make sense. It's so backwards and stupid. I just can't comprehend how that makes sense. There's no getting a first down on 3rd and 10 when you do a screen pass that's literally passed behind the line of scrimmage. It doesn't make sense. Stop doing that. If you're going to do a screen pass, do it on 1st and 2nd down. Those plays that you use to run it up the middle, which literally everyone expects. No runs on the outside, no toss plays. That we barely even threw the football. The only times we did were when the game was already lost and we had Brian Maurer and Harrison Bailey looking bad and throwing interceptions. That's the only time that I even saw that going on. So I don't know what in the world the kind of play calling is we have at Tennessee, and the defense is really good, but the fact that Pruitt is blaming the defense in this one is very concerning for me. My final analysis on this one, though, I'll let you guys think about whatever you want, but the final analysis I have is this isn't a one and done job. this is going to have to be a complete culture change at the University of Tennessee. The reality is, we need to lower our expectations set for this program. This is going to take a while, Tennessee fans. This isn't going to be an easy job, and I know that you guys want it. I know that, I believe me, I want it too. I want us to win football games. I want us to be able to compete with Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. I want that more than anybody here. You won't find a bigger Tennessee fan than I am. But reality is, we need to lower our expectations. We might not even win 9 games next year if we have a regular season. We might not. I mean, we have the talent to do that. But here's the thing. Pruitt, I've been behind you throughout everything that you've done. And even through the awful seasons that you have, I've been behind you through all of it. Thing is, you're gonna have to do something about this. Next year, I think, really has to be the year that you have to step this thing up. These fans are going to put up with this for long, really. I mean, this offense is just god-awful. It's the most backwards offense I've ever seen. I'm not exaggerating when I say that it's one of the worst offenses in the Power 5. And in Pruitt, you got to fix that. That's on you. I'd say you fix that right now. The possibility of us going 3-7 this season are very, very likely. Now, of course, anything can happen. And I believe that the possibility of us beating A&M, Auburn, or Florida is a very... It could happen, but it's not very likely. Now, we got Vandy, too. That'll give us a free win. Point being, we got to fix this. This can't be happening anymore. This just can't be happening anymore. There's no excuse for it. So, take what you want from that, but I think next year, Pruitt, you gotta win our hearts back. You ripped them out when you brought out this elementary terrible offense that helped us to lose to Kentucky and Arkansas. You gotta win us back, Pruitt, and I hope that you can do that, because believe me, I know this. If you get fired, we're right back to where we were at the start. So, Pruitt, I'm relying on you. I'm relying on the team. I believe that you guys can do it. I believe that you guys can get this done. I believe that you can turn this program around. But we got to do what's right. I believe that Harrison Bailey should be the starting quarterback for Texas A&M. I know that might sound crazy, but the reality is Jarrett Garantano is not going to improve at all. Harrison Bailey has the potential to improve. You let him see the field, and you let him start the game, and you don't throw him out there on third down when you're down and throw that pressure on him. You let him win this game for us, Pruitt. You let him do that. So, my final thoughts, you just heard them. As for the rest of you, feel free to give your thoughts in the comment section, or hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Feel free to do what you want, and I'd be more than happy to look at that and, of course, answer. So, you guys have heard my thoughts about it, and that's really all I have to say. Hopefully you can get this thing turned around. I'm waiting for some W's as much as you guys are. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Power to Tardaria. Go Vols, and beat the crap out of Texas A&M. Beep, beep, beep.